Hey everyone, this video is going to go over all of the homework assignments for the week 3 module. So now that you've clicked on the week 3 homework assignments tab, you'll see underneath are 4 sub-tabs that are listed. So I'm going to go through each one of those so you'll know exactly what's expected of you for the homework this week. So the first sub-tab is asking you to read chapter 3 before completing the week 3 homework. Once again, the material in chapter 3 is going to reinforce everything that we covered, not everything, but most of what we covered in the week 3 module. No quiz or exam though. Don't spend hours and hours poring over this chapter, just read it over, right? Once you've done that, you can move on to the other items listed in the homework assignments tab. So the next item is week 3 assignment 1, intros and conclusions. So when you click on go to assignment, it will take you to the assignment and you can read the instructions. And for this particular assignment, it says, in order to complete this assignment correctly, you will need to read chapter 3 and review the material on introductions and conclusions found in the week 3 module under the tab for the writing process, introductions, thesis statements, and conclusions. There are sub-tabs in that lesson that contain handouts and video lessons on intros and conclusions. That's what you're going to want to make sure that you have reviewed before attempting this homework item. Once you are sure that you're ready to begin this homework assignment, you will need to download and read the attached sample introductions and conclusions. You'll see the download link below. So if you scroll down, they're listed there. There's one, let's see, the sample intros and sample conclusions. On that document, there's 2 sample introductions and 2 sample conclusions. You will need to choose one of the introductions and one of the conclusions. So one from each. Once you have chosen the ones you want to work with, you will then complete the other parts of the assignment. So part 1 is going to be working with the introduction you chose. There will be 2 tasks for that introduction. The first task is to answer those bullet points right there. For the introduction you have chosen, answer the following questions. Is the opening statement interesting? Did it grab your attention? Does it use any of the opening techniques suggested in the writing introductions handout or the textbook? And does it include a thesis? So a statement that tells the central idea of the essay. We covered thesis statements in the weekly material right before the information on intros and conclusions. So you should know what a thesis statement is by now, if you didn't already. So does it include a thesis statement? Then once you have answered those bullet points about the introduction you chose, you will move on to task 2, which is asking you to revise that introduction. Now, we don't have the rest of the essay to know exactly what the author was going to do, but we can make an educated guess, and we can kind of add our own ideas to it as well. So when I ask you to revise the introduction, that does not mean simply looking for grammar and spelling errors. That does not mean just moving sentences around and changing the order of it. You need to revise it. Remember what an introduction is supposed to accomplish. Grab your reader's attention, introduce the overall idea or overall topic of the essay, and then present a thesis statement that tells exactly what the central idea is along with the main points you're going to cover. You can take a little bit of liberty with this, right? But try to stay as close to the original intent of the introduction as you can. And give it your best shot, okay? It doesn't have to, I just want to see what you can do. I want to see, just try working with this. Try one of the opening techniques that we talked about in the week 3 module. Try leading us into the topic. And try your best to create a thesis statement for it, right? See what you can do, right? The second part has you work with one of the conclusions on the attachment. So you'll choose one of the conclusions to work with, and then you will complete task 3, which is another set of bullet points. So for the conclusion you have chosen, answer the following questions. Does it restate the thesis or indicate the essay's central idea? Does it summarize the support for the thesis, which is like the main points, right? And does it leave the reader with something to ponder or act upon? That's what a conclusion is supposed to do. Does it do the things a conclusion is supposed to do? Once you've answered those bullet points, you will then move on to task 4, which is asking you to revise the conclusion. And again, just give it your best shot. Think about what a conclusion is supposed to accomplish. It is supposed to clearly signal that the essay is coming to an end. It is supposed to remind us of the thesis statement, the essay's central idea, and the main points that were covered in the body of the essay. And it's supposed to kind of give us this final thought or this final moment where it wraps it up all neatly. Maybe you give us a final thought, maybe you prompt us, or urge us to take action, whatever the case may be. But go back to the lesson on conclusions and see if you can take this topic in this sample conclusion and create a better, more effective conclusion from it. So the idea here is that no matter which introduction you choose and no matter which conclusion you choose, they all need work. They all need to be revised, okay? So choose the intro that you like best, choose the conclusion you like best. Answer the bullet point questions for the introduction. Do your best to revise it based on what we learned about what an introduction is supposed to accomplish. For the conclusion you've chosen, answer the 3 bullet points about it, and then do your best to revise that conclusion based on what we've learned about what a conclusion is supposed to accomplish. And just give it your best shot. See what you can do, right? I will be giving you feedback on it when I grade the assignment once you submit it. You'll do it in a Word document, so then you'll make sure you save it and then upload it and submit it, and I will give you feedback on it. I'll let you know how you did. As long as you try, you'll get full points for it, okay? So don't let that scare you, but try. If I see all you've done is make a few grammar corrections or just moved some sentences around, then I'm going to ask you to redo it. But if you try to revise it, then you're going to get full credit, and I'm going to let you know what you did right and what you might still need to work on, okay? If you have any questions or technical difficulties about Week 3 Assignment 1, let me know. So the next sub-tab in the Week 3 homework assignments is Week 3 Assignment 2, Essay Number 1 Workshop. So when you go to that assignment, you will see the instructions indicate that you need, in order to complete the assignment correctly, you need to look over chapters 2, 3, and 10. You need to review the material presented in Week 1 on the writing process, the rhetorical situation, and all the material presented in Weeks 2 and 3 on description and narration. Right? You want to pay special attention to the essay assignment packet that's in the Week 2 module, because what this assignment is asking you to do is basically nail down your topic, your plan for essay number 1. So part of your homework for next week is going to be to do the rough draft. But before I assign the rough draft, I want to make sure that you are headed in the right direction. So what I want you to do this week for Week 3 homework is tell me what your topic is, your focused topic, what your angle is, how are you going to make this story fresh and unique, what's your purpose, what's your point in writing about this story, why did you choose this story to write about, and what do you want us as your readers to get from it, who do you think your primary audience is, and are there any secondary audiences, any other groups of people that you think might be interested in your story, and what type of voice and tone do you plan on using, okay? I want you to address the rhetorical situation of your first essay. You might need to do some pre-writing first to get to this. If you have not done so already, if you haven't been thinking about this essay and what kind of topic you want to write about, then maybe you need to take a little bit of time right now to do that. And then for this, tell me what the rhetorical situation is. Answer those elements right there. You're going to do it as a text submission. So you're going to need to copy and paste that section into the text box, and then you'll be able to fill it in. I'm going to be looking for these throughout the week as they are submitted. And as you submit it, as soon as I get a chance, I'm going to go in and I'm going to look at it and I'm going to give you my feedback. You need to be on the lookout for that feedback, okay? And you especially need to look for it before you start working on the rough draft of essay number 1. That doesn't get assigned until week 4, right? But those weeks slide into each other real quickly. So before you start the rough draft for essay number 1, look for my feedback on essay number 1 workshop. That way you know if I have given you the go-ahead. If I've said this looks great, you're in good shape, go ahead, get started. Or if I'm like, I don't know, this seems like it might be too big, this looks like it might be an issue, make sure you think about this. You want to get my feedback on this workshop before you start your rough draft for essay number 1, okay? Like I said, I'm going to be looking for them throughout the week. So if you submit yours early, you'll get my feedback early, okay? If you have any questions about the workshop, let me know. But again, ask yourself, have I gone through all of the material first? And do I know what this is all about? If you still aren't quite sure, then of course get in touch with me and I will help you through it. The last item for homework in week 3 is of course the week 3 discussion. If you go to that discussion, it is almost exactly like the discussion for week 2, except this time we're going to be looking at the other 3 sample narrative essays that you read. So this discussion is titled Responding to Sample Narrative Essays Part 2. For week 2, assignment 1, you had 6 sample narrative essays that you were asked to read and answer some questions about. For the week 2 discussion, we talked about the first 3 of those essays: Fear the Laundry, A Brief and Unpleasant Run-In with My Ex, and Back at the Ranch. So you've already discussed those in the week 2 discussion. Now in week 3, we're going to discuss the other 3 sample narrative essays. So this week, we're going to talk about Black Men in Public Space, Words of My Youth, and Deep Green Eyes. You're going to answer the same exact questions this week as you did in week 2. So what was your favorite thing about each of those essays? Be thorough with your answer. And then what do you think you might use from each of these 3 essays as you begin writing your own rough draft for the narrative essay? And again, be thorough with those. So at this point, if you're on track with homework, you have already read all 6 of these essays for the week 2 assignment. So you should be in good shape to respond to my questions and make your first post by Thursday at 11:59 p.m. And then you'll have until Sunday at 11:59 p.m. to respond to 2 of your classmates. If you run into any technical difficulties, please let me know right away. If you have any questions or concerns about any of the homework for week 3, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, good luck with everything, and I look forward to reading what you turn in.